Greetings, people who know in their hearts that the word gender is a grammatical term. And like so many other beautiful words in the English language, it was stolen from us by the psychogenically disturbed. So if you've been watching my videos, you know that up to this point we've been talking about the appositive and the noun complement. And I showed examples of that noun clauses, okay, noun clauses that employ the word that. And you can watch my previous videos to bring yourself up to speed. So it boils down to pretty much two questions. Is there really such a thing as a restrictive appositive and a non-restrictive appositive? And is there really such a thing as a restrictive noun complement and a non-restrictive noun complement? I've showed this paper many times. So that's the question. For appositives, is there both restrictive and non-restrictive? And for noun complements, is there both restrictive and non-restrictive? Well, I made a few videos well over a year ago and waited to see if anybody would respond to this topic. I was surprised anybody even watched my videos. And no one's really said anything. No one's offered a solution. I've had a solution for many, many years, but I'd like to now present it. And it's a little complicated, so please bear with me. Instead of using long noun clauses with the word that, let's just use a very simple sentence, which I've used before. Let's use this. My sister Jenny is athletic. Okay, now, when we talk about appositives and noun complements, the key concept or factor or element is restriction, okay? Restriction. When we discussed distinction phrases and clauses, which I kind of invented, right? The key element was reference. Reference was critical to understanding it. But in this case, for this topic, all right, appositives and noun complements, restriction is the key concept. We have to keep that in mind. Okay, so we use a very simple example. My sister, Jenny, is athletic. Okay, my sister, comma, Jenny, comma, is athletic. Now you see the commas and you're used to it because you were taught that in school, in English class, all right? So you see that Jenny is non-restrictive or it's dispensable. That's what you see because you were taught that. In other words, noun equal appositive, or you could say noun equal X and you just insert a name in there, okay? Now, if you're saying my sister, Jenny, I have only one sister. If you're saying you have only one sister, then her name doesn't matter. I talked about that. You could call her sis, sissy, sibling. You could call her anything. It doesn't matter because if there's only one sister, and anybody who knows you knows it's your sister. So the name really doesn't matter. And that's a mental concept that helps you understand the dispensability of the appositive itself, okay? So no matter what you call her, you still know it's my sister. Now, we see that this looks like, and actually is indeed, a non-restrictive appositive. Okay, we know that because it's logical, it's practical, and it just makes sense. Okay, now we look at another very simple sample sentence, and it's almost identical. My sister Jenny is athletic, but you see no commas. There's no commas here, right? So ordinarily, we would refer to this as a restrictive appositive. Okay, you see, when you talk about noun complements, your restrictive noun complement is very, very common. But you wonder, is this really a restrictive appositive? Okay, this is the whole crux of this, these videos, the 13A and B, and maybe C, I don't know. So you see there's no commas. The Jenny, the term Jenny is restrictive to some degree. Now, you say, well, does this structure, is this behaving like an appositive? Is it behaving grammatically like an appositive does. Does it rename? Appositives rename. Well, not really. It's naming the sister. It's naming, but it's not renaming. And you think, oh, maybe it's complementing the word sister. Maybe it's completing the noun phrase sister blank, okay? Is it co-referential? All right. Well, considering the behavior of this word in this application, kind of no. We're not sure if it's co-referential, okay? Is it indispensable? Well, mostly. You could take out the word Jenny. My sister is athletic, all right? The removal of the word Jenny doesn't create a false statement, okay? It doesn't create a false statement, but it'll leave a sort of vague feeling there if you take it out. In other words, what's your sister's name? And how many sisters do you have, okay? So what is the word Jenny really doing? Well, it's making a distinction. It's making a distinction. You can say, well, Joey, that's just your idea, and I've heard your ideas, and we're not sure if they're correct, but the question is, what is the word doing? It's clear. It makes a distinction. It's that simple. You can't deny that. So it tells you which sister is being referred to, okay? So my conclusion is, and here it comes, this is a big deal. I love to do videos like this because for hundreds of years, no one talks about this. They keep teaching the same stuff, but is it concise? Is it precise? Is it as accurate as it can possibly be? So I say the word Jenny in this sentence, I say is not an appositive. I say that, I claim that, all right? This is a big deal for me and for you because someday this will be in grammar books. Yes, it is restrictive, all right? But I think it's a noun complement. I think it's a noun complement, all right? It completes the meaning of the phrase Sister Jenny, all right? And it does a better job of making a distinction than the appositive does. Okay, that's a beautiful thing. Now bear with me. This is a strange thing. Okay, so I say my sister Jenny is athletic, all right? And then let's go back to our noun clauses with the word that, all right? The proposition that he was advancing was preposterous. Okay, you see that? So I claim that this is a noun complement and it's restrictive. It's a noun complement and it logically, grammatically, semantically, it still makes sense, all right? Down here we have my sister, comma, Jenny is athletic. Let's go back to your noun clause with the word that. The proposition, comma, that he was advancing, comma, was preposterous. Here you have an appositive. It's non-restrictive. So I claim that the noun complement, by its very nature, its essence, is restrictive, and the appositive is non-restrictive. And that's the big difference. That's the big key. That's the big, beautiful point I've been trying to make for quite some time. And there it is. Now you say, well, Joy, you're not a teacher. You don't have no education. You don't have college degrees and plaques on the wall and all that crap. That's right. I don't have any of that. But I still have a brain. All right? So if you don't buy that, the stuff I've told you to this point in all my videos, think about this. Let's look at it two different ways. Syllogistic and dissective. Let's look at it two different ways. Let's take the same thing I just told you and see if there's anything there deep inside that will help us understand what I've been telling you. Syllogistic. I talked about syllogisms in previous videos, all right? And here's your two premises and your conclusion. All right, you have two premises and you have a conclusion. Now let's see how it relates to our sample sentence. My only sister is Jenny. Premise. The other premise is my sister is my only sister. See, my only sister is Jenny, all right? My sister is my only sister. Now that's an actual fact. That's indisputable. All right. So your conclusion then is my sister is Jenny. So your minor term and your major term become your subject and predicate terms. All right. And you get this. You get my sister is Jenny. Now we're back where we started with our simple example. My sister is Jenny. Now, since it's your only sister, the only aspect must be represented somehow. So many, many years ago, somebody decided, well, we'll put commas in there. And that way we'll know that that's the only sister, okay? That's how we designated. Right? That's the syllogistic approach. Right? Now, for your noun complement, look at this. Here's your premises, okay, and your conclusion. All right, I'll read them to you. One of my sisters is Jenny. Only one. The next premise is my sister is one of my sisters. My sister is just one of several others, okay? So your conclusion then, your middle term and your major term become your subject and predicate terms. My sister is Jenny. And then you have my sister is Jenny. And you say, well, that's just like this. What's the difference? Well, the difference is this. There's no commas. Look, here's the appositive with the commas. My sister, comma, Jenny, comma. Okay? And here you see no commas. Okay? The no commas are needed. The one of, okay, one of the many sisters aspect doesn't need to be indicated with commas because the word itself, all right, tells you that she's the one of the many. That's a little weird, but syllogistically, I worked it out and it works. You can study this, you can pause and try to figure it out, but I worked on this for a long, long time. And I say that the appositive, all right, is this particular case right here. And the noun complement is this, because structurally they are saying two different things. All right, now let's go a little bit deeper to the dissective level where you just tear it apart, break it down, and you say, well, when somebody says, my sister Jenny, what are they really saying? Well, you're saying, I have a sister, okay? And here you have just a little syllogism I threw in, two premises and a conclusion, okay? I stuck that in. The girl is my sister, and the other premise is Jenny is the girl. The girl is my sister, and Jenny is the girl. So you see then your conclusion is Jenny is my sister. You can study that on your own. I won't spend a lot of time. And it yields this, my sister Jenny. All right? Now, the commas here have to be inserted. Because here you have, okay, my sister Jenny, but here you have a noun, all right? And you have the subject of your conclusion, all right? Noun, subject. In other words, noun equals subject. And that's what an appositive does. It's co-referential. So you see my sister, comma, Jenny, right, is really telling you this, okay? I have one sister and one only, my sister Jenny. Now, look at the noun complement version. We're going to dissect it, all right? What are you really saying? Well, you're really saying, I have a sister. Her name is Jenny. Now, when you're saying this in your mind and you're putting the sentences together so you can speak my sister Jenny, all right? It happens at lightning super speed, all right? What happens is you're saying, I have a sister. Her name is Jenny. See, her name is Jenny. In that thought in the brain, that pre-thought before the statement comes out, you're using Jenny as a subject complement. She's a complement. Jenny is a complement. And when you come down here and you insert this to create the phrase that you're going to speak, okay, you're saying my sister Jenny, that complement moves down into your mind and it comes out your mouth when you speak it. And you're saying my sister Jenny. No, there's no commas. Because in your mind, deep in your mind, your innate grammar system is already telling you that Jenny in the mind structurally was a complement, and it was just moved down into the phrase that you spoke, and it's living proof. It's organic proof that in your mind, you're already thinking of it as a compliment in the mind. You're already thinking of it as a compliment. I've heard no one talk about this, no one anywhere on the internet. I haven't seen it in any books, and I apologize for taking so long. But the appositive, I claim, is non-restrictive, and the noun complement, where's that paper? Hold on. And the noun complement here, all right, is restrictive, and the appositive has to be non-restrictive. I don't see it any other way. This is way too long. I apologize, but maybe I'll come back, maybe not. But that's my point. That's my big point, and it should be taught, and it should be at least studied and investigated. So thanks for being really patient, and I got to go. So thank you and good night.